All right, welcome back, everyone. I am the Dungeon Master, and we are rejoining the party of Heroes Wanted exactly where we left off last time on D&D. They had just explored a little bit of the cavern beyond the Red Otyug's lair and discovered a path leading down into an ancient elven ruin and decided that now was not the time to be exploring ancient elven ruins and that they needed to reconnoiter back at the old mill and reassess their situation. So we are going to go ahead and move everybody over there and give them time to kind of role play everything that they want to, get off their chests or anything as they travel back to the old mill. And then we'll pick up with what has happened along with some introductions because we have a new player. So we're going to reintroduce the party and what has been happening as soon as we get everybody moved to the new map.
Point of order, DM. Was it ever made common knowledge that the ruins were elven?
No,
I didn't say anything.
Okay.
I didn't say anything either.
that was just for the purposes of being clear.
Okay.
You guys all know it's elven in players, but of course that's meta knowledge, and thank you for making sure that was clear.
Oh god, my new icon is so shiny.
Oh wow, yeah, you're right.
It's so bright. Jeez.
It is.
It's a freaking light spell by itself.
Yeah, I'm just gonna call you Solar or something like that. Sunlord.
Yeah, why not?
Disadvantage on
It's okay.
stealth.
Einjamin, it's fine. You can call me that.
It's disadvantage
Lord
on
is
stealth.
perfectly appropriate.
Oh man. Yep.
Oh, Soggy's got a new icon as well. That's nice too.
Mm.
So we are traveling up the road, and now we have come back to the mill that we have freed from a rodent infestation violently, very violently.
Yeah, so if you guys have no discussions that you wish to have for now, then as you arrive back at the old mill, I will go ahead
Just
and
quick
describe the
point of
party.
order.
Yes.
If you could describe who is there, because that's been dynamic lately.
Yes. So I'm going to start with the party as the most important characters, and then we'll work our way down to what's going on at the mill and how this is going. Okay, so we have Nicholas and Einjamin Shalemorn. They are two half-brothers from the kingdom of Caldonia. When I say kingdom, it's really more of a city-state that is trying to reestablish itself as the mighty empire that it once was. They come from a line of peasants that were recently brought into knighthood within the last 3 generations by their family friend, Tristan Thavalur. Tristan Thavalur and his sister Trista are half elves in the sense that their family has elven blood flowing throughout it for generations, and so in this world half elves are not necessarily always an elven parent and a human parent. In fact, you're as likely to be a full-blooded elf from that union as you are to be a half elf. But the elven blood is so strong, such a dominant gene, that for generations and hundreds and even thousands of years later, your family will pop up with half elves in your bloodline. And so Tristan and his sister Trista are both half elves, and in fact, their family, because of that strong half elven bloodline, was once magically empowered and ruled a kingdom that they were forced out of, and they resettled in Caledonia, where they were once again brought into, the higher ranks of society and knighthood. And so they sponsored the Shalemorns and brought them in as lower ranked nobility, so to speak, knights. And that's why they're all friends and connected, because they owe their nobility to Tristan and their family. So together they all trained as knights, and they're here in the town of Lakeshore basically to spread Caledonians' power, and to do so in a manner of like knights here to protect and help and do the things that knights do. However, his sister Trista has been here for years already and has been working with Donovan McGrady, a vampire hunter who has a tragic backstory that I'll let him reveal to the characters, bit by bit as he goes along. But he has dedicated his life to eradicating vampires, and Trista, through meeting him and working with him, has like become aware of a whole new world that she was already clued in on to some extent through her family ties and everything. But through working with Donovan, she went off on a quest to unlock her true elven power and has come back as a blade singer, ready to just unleash all out arcane power against these vampiric menaces. But she's still a knight, and she still believes in the tenets of Caledonia. She has just become aware that there is power out there beyond what Caledonia understands and condones that can be used to eradicate menaces like vampires that Caledonia just could never prepare you for, because you can't train against vampires without having vampires there to train against. So moving on, then we have the newer additions to the party, Elwyn and Soggy. They had met up with a halfling named Tom who came from Lakeshore, and Elwyn and Tom had adventured together in the outskirts of New Eglia, which is where you guys are, and I'll do a tour of the world map in a later session so that you guys can understand where you're at continent wise and all of that. But they were traveling the countryside of New Eglia and exploring the caves and caverns and ruins and just doing a general tomb raiding adventurer stuff, when they came across a half-drowned and abandoned kobold who had been left for dead by the rest of his clan. They rescued him. He couldn't remember anything, but when they asked him who he was, he couldn't understand and thought that they were asking him what he was, and he was soaking wet, so he just replied, "Soggy." And so now he is Soggy the Kobold, a warlock who has eldritch power from a patron that he has unknowingly pledged his soul to, and there might be more to that story, later on. We'll have to wait and see. And then we have Aubrey, a child wizard from a foreign land who had trained with Trista to unlock her arcane powers, and she has been a little aloof and mysterious about the party, and some of her mannerisms have caused some suspicions, so everybody's kind of keeping an eye on her. In one of the recent sessions, one of the quests that they did was to eradicate a infestation of rats that had been occurring, and in investigating where they were coming from, they found out that the old river mill was no longer producing ground flour and wheat and other commodities that they needed, and so they went there to investigate and found the millwright and his wife's bodies dead on the floor, consumed by rats, with bags of flour and whatnot being completely destroyed and consumed by these rats who were breeding en masse, here in the mill. They burned the rat's nest and damaged the upper part of the mill. But now they have so much more to do. So Nicholas happens to have a glowing sun blade that was the sword of an ancient hero named Arcadius. And as a paladin, some of the people have started to rally to him as they've witnessed him laying his hands on the sick and curing them. Two of those people pledged themselves as his squires, Gabe and Michael, and Einjamin sent them to the mill to clear it out while they went and dealt with the Odiug. So you guys return about a day and a half later and find that they have done a great job of clearing out the sacks and setting them ablaze and getting everything kind of cleaned up. However, Gabe reports to Nicholas. Michael comes running up as soon as he sees you, like a soldier, and gives you the Caledonian salute that had been taught to him by Einjamin in order to impress Nicholas and get him to accept them as his squires. So he comes running up and gives you the Caledonian salute. He gets it a little wrong, and he says, Nicholas, and Gabe backhands him across the back of the head, and he says, my lord, I found something.
At ease. Benjamin, we're going to speak about these a bit later. What is it, boys?
What's a girl?
It's
No,
hard
not
it's
anymore.
hard to tell. She hides it very well. And he shows you this. He pulls
This is
this out.
interesting. Nicholas takes this ramshackle book, journal-looking thing, opens it up and reads over it. DM for reference: 7th moon, 512, Age of Man. 8th moon, 512.
A couple months ago.
A couple months ago, thank you.
So this is 10th month?
Yeah, this is the 10th month.
Okay. Really. And this writing at the bottom.
You do not understand it. Perhaps somebody else does.
What do you have,
There's-
brother?
This appears to be a journal from the millwright.
The dead ones?
Yes, and there's some type of odd writing. It's odd. It may have been written by another hand, even. It's different language. It is a language, though.
I could try looking at it.
Yes, Elwyn. And Tristan, if you could as well.
Just some scribblings from a millwright. What is there to care about?
Never hurts to see.
Fine. And I will take a look.
All right.
As will I.
So what languages do you guys all speak?
Let me check.
Old Caledonian, Common, and Coarse Elvish.
Yeah, where would that be on the on these sheets?
I think it's under background. Or it might
Oh,
just
yep, sure enough. Background, top, middle. Got it. I've got Common, Elvish, and Draconic.
Wow, you actually
Elvish.
got Elvish.
You have Elvish?
Elvish is a common language taught at the Caledonian Academy.
I got Common and Elven, that's it.
It's important to know the language of your enemy.
Is
I
it
have
though?
common.
I had to work
Elven.
for that language. Jeez.
I have common, elven, and abyssal.
All right. So, none of you that look at it understand it.
Brother, can I look at it?
Here, Ingemin. Look, and Trista. Look with Ingemin, perhaps between the two.
Benjamin puts his hand around his throat, kind of stretches his neck a little bit. There's a strange sort of orange glow that peers through his fingers, and the glow spreads up his neck into his face and through his eyes. And just for a brief moment, they glow red. And he reads it.
It's vocal as well, you know that, right?
Oh, I don't really care. Fine, I sort of say something.
You could always try muttering it under your breath.
There seems to be something hidden.
The glowing of the eyes is enough of a giveaway to where the verbal isn't gonna like be any more or less of a giveaway. So
Is it going to be any more or less condemning,
yeah.
at least in Nicholas's eyes?
And as the glowing fades away, Benjamin sighs as if he's been holding something tense for a very long time and was just able to release it at the moment. According to this writing, I'm not really sure what language it is. I think
Old
there's
Eglian.
it's Old Eglian. I think there's something hidden at a grotto nearby. Michael.
Nicholas grabs the papers back from Ingemin and goes chest to chest with Ingemin. Strangely, he's obviously just somehow a little bit taller than Ingemin. So he's literally looking down and says, "What was that?"
Or you really want to know, or you just want to hit me again?
Both.
Both.
Let them have their moment, jeez.
If it makes you feel better, I won't defend myself again.
You and I both know it wouldn't matter if you did. What was that?
What do you think it was?
I immediately turn around. Without taking my eyes off of Ingemin, I point backwards at Aubrey. The type of thing that she would do.
Well, I think there's probably only one person here who's cursed. The sort of thing that I'm doing is nothing to do with study, books, or a pursuit of some forbidden knowledge. Can't control it, brother.
Nothing
really
to do
want
with
to know.
study. Nothing to do with effort. Another easy way out, Injamin. Another shortcut.
There's nothing easy about this, brother. And I reach up to my throat and I pull away something that's invisible. And as I pull away, the invisible thing turns into an ivory medallion. Looks like it was just hanging on my throat, invisible. And as it pulls away, the sort of innocent, very young looking face that has been maintained this whole time changes to careworn, with scratches all over it, scars, looks like purposefully driven into my flesh, healed and then re-ripped and healed again. Haggard, desperate. The magic hurts me, brother. But what hurts even more is not doing it. And if you really want to know why, then we can have a conversation, brother to brother. But if you just want to hit me again, as you can see, I don't think I'm going to mind too much. And I let go of it, and it immediately springs back to my throat and disappears. And my face goes back to the way it was before.
Okay, I'm going
And
to.
I turn around and I put my hand on Michael and I say, "Good job, lad." And I walk into the mill.
Before he can walk away, I grab him from behind.
I just sort of stand there frozen.
Until everyone realizes that Nicholas is praying.
Are you two done yet? Or is the family drama gonna go all day?
If you've got somewhere else you'd rather be, you're welcome to go.
We all know what it is. It usually takes a few generations before you learn, but I guess now is as good a time as any.
Nicholas, let's go. And walks out. Not running, not mean, just steady walk. Walks out.
Okay, and during all of this, Aubrey has disappeared. She is around, but not, knowing where she's at. Trista has gone to speak with Tristan. And everybody else, what are you doing? Oh, and
I'm
Donovan,
going-
just hang on. You're going to be introduced in just a little bit.
As soon as I feel like people are out of sight of me, I'm going to cast a message towards Tristan. And I'm going to say, I know you want to tell my brother everything, but I highly recommend you keep your elven blood a secret if you can. Figure out some way to explain it away. He won't understand. And to be fair, neither do I.
And then I get one reply, I believe. Yes, I do. And I just say I understood. Understood. I'm gonna talk to my sister.
Okay. Well, I can't say that.
Yeah,
I
you
just
can't
did.
say that. No.
Right.
Stop talking.
Don't
You're supposed to
break the
stop.
rules of the spell.
No, you're breaking the rules right now.
Over.
Hang up.
Over,
gonna hang up.
Roger.
Over,
I'm
No,
gonna
over.
hang
you hang up first. Yes.
No, I'm gonna hang up now.
No, I'm hanging
I'm
up first. You.
So,
I disconnect from message.
Yeah.
Messenger.
Hello? Hello?
if you would like to continue, please insert another
Who's this?
spell
Who's
slot.
talking? Who is this? Get off this line. All right.
So,
Message over.
Trista finds a moment. That was great. Trista finds a moment to speak with Tristan, and she says, "Tristan, you and I both know our elven blood, our bloodline, has given us gifts. It has been what has allowed our family to rule for generations in two different lands. You know, we have a magic within us, and I went and unlocked my full potential by training with ancient wizards in foreign lands that still practice. But Tristan, when I was there, I saw things, unholy, unnatural things. I think Caldonia may be right that there is an evil inherent in some of this magic that cannot be denied, and some people give themselves over to it completely. And then just out of character meta, it's kind of like the Force, to where there's Jedi and there's Sith, and it's not like you're using a different power, you're just using it differently. And that's like kind of what Trista is trying to explain to Tristan, is that like even though they have a natural bloodline, inherent magical power to them that they can use, and if they choose to use it for good, that's one thing, but there's other people out there using this power very wrongly, and she has seen that, and she wants to know what Tristan thinks of that.
And she's done.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just gonna say we're actually not standing in the middle of everybody. We
Yeah, that's why I said found a time.
Yeah. Okay. Trista, I know. We all know with the old families in the city, and most likely everywhere else, it's an open secret. Those with power, they tend to keep it, no matter what the laws say. And I'm sure even the king, he has people. There is evil to it. I see it. It's what people do. It's a tool. Tools, they're going to fall into wrong hands. They're going to fall into people who think they're doing the right thing. It's been centuries, so long. From what I read, there used to be academies, institutes, teaching people, policing themselves. It took us years to just touch it, just to have a piece of it. And you saw how Einjamin is. I don't know what happened to him. Not fully. Something is wrong with him. There might be more people like that too. I don't know. I just know that
When you mention Einjamin, Trista kind of looks at you, and for a second, she seems to like be shocked, and then like studies your face intently for a moment, and like is like, oh yeah, Einjamin, yeah, and she quickly changes the subject and says, brother, you're right. It is a tool, and it does fall into the wrong hands. What do we do when we find it in those wrong hands?
What does one do when they see a man cut another with a sword?
We were taught that we pick up our sword and our shield and we defend that man.
Then what's the difference? Why? It can be complicated, but it doesn't need to be. We can restrict things, think about it over and over. It's a tool. When people misuse it, we've been taught to correct that.
You're right.
I see no difference.
You're right. And with that, she stands and marches off.
Okay, I guess bye. I haven't seen you in years, I guess.
Yeah. Well, you know your sister. She's
She does what she
driven.
does. It's
Yeah.
Yeah, and I guess we join back with everybody.
Okay. And
That's
Elwyn,
enough.
what are you doing through all this?
Could I possibly make like a perception check to see if I could have heard what they were talking about?
Well, I mean, if
Sneaky
you're
little ass.
if you're trying to follow them, you'd have to do stealth first
Yeah.
versus their perception to see if you follow.
Sneaking.
Right.
That works.
Sneaking.
Yeah.
Use a sneaky check, please.
Let's see, where's that on the list?
The wacky kiki.
God
sneaky
damn it.
Between the cheeky.
Nope.
You can never escape the watchful gaze of the Knights of Caldonia. They have been taught to and now we're playing D&D. They have been taught to be on guard, and so every time that you're trying to stealthily come up, they notice you, and it forces you to miss your opportunity to get close enough to hear.
In that case, I'll just go see about restocking my quiver.
Yep. And you can go ahead and add 6 more and subtract them from your bundle of arrows. And in fact, everybody can go ahead and take a long rest at some point if you're not doing anything beforehand that would require you to, do something before you take a long rest. This day is going to be a day of basically rest and dealing with stuff. But the day is going to be over with as soon as you guys are ready. I have the next step here.
All right. I have other things that I want to do, but I'll in the interest of speeding things along, I'll just say that after I've cooled down a bit and sitting sort of brooding by myself, I go find Michael and Gabe. I congratulate them on doing a very good job. I'm very positive, and I begin their training on the different parts of armor, starting with the helmet and moving down the arm. I don't think that Nicholas has full plate, but I do think he's got a full arm. I think part of the chainmail has a full armored arm.
Yeah.
So I described the pauldron, the cuirass, the rebrace, the cuirass, and the placket of embrace, and all those different things that go down the side. Making sure they understand what the names of each piece are, how they are to be cleaned, where you need to check to make sure things are not going loose.
So squirrely
sort of
duties.
Exactly, that sort of thing.
Yeah,
just say that.
and Gabe kind of pulls you inside, and she brings you over to the fire that she's made and ladles you out a bowl full of it's really bad. It's onion soup, but like it's wild onions back in the medieval days, so like it's not even like good onions like we have today, and it's water and onions, and she had just a small amount of salt that she managed to find that was not ruined by the rats, and she takes that out and adds that to just your bowl to make it like a little bit better.
Didn't I pay for everything? What the hell?
Thank you. I'm impressed that you managed to do all this that you've done, cleaning it up, the place, and made food as well. I think perhaps tomorrow we can send Elwyn and perhaps myself to see if we can do any hunting. One thing about living out here away from town, we won't be able to get access to as much food as we had before. So we'll...
I don't think we had much access to food in town.
Well, you may not have, but... Well, things will be different now. But thank you.
Thank you.
And,
Thank you, my lord.
No, my brother is my lord. Just call me Sir Enjamin.
Yes, sir.
Good night, Gabriel.
So it's nighttime now. Evening again?
Yeah. So now everybody is asleep or doing whatever they do.
I think we're gonna have a group meeting, I guess, especially after just when we're finished our fight is all that too.
Yeah, if you guys want to discuss what's going on, but I do have a thing that is going to need to happen at some point. So before you get like
Okay.
solidified with what you like for sure are going to do, just understand that that's going to be interrupted. So
Okay.
it's meta knowledge, I know, but for the purposes of the game and everything,
Well, also for the role play we've just done, it kind of makes sense for everybody to just go to bed without talking. So
yeah, maybe discuss it in the morning.
that's a good
Sure.
idea.
So everybody can do their nighttime thing, and certainly feel free to let me know if it's important, what you're specifically doing, but the whole day counts as a day of rest for everybody. Make sure that you subtract one of your rations, though, otherwise you're going to take the level 1 of exhaustion for not eating.
I think the only thing that Enjamin will do is he picked up the bones, not really thinking that they were dragon bones, just large bones that, if they were sturdy enough and light enough, could be made into useful weapons. But he's going to spend some time trying to sharpen one of them today with his short sword and realize that they're not normal bones, and that it's going to take something other than his just sharpening a stick. It's not going to happen.
Yeah, yeah, you dull part of your blade before you finally give up on that. All right, and then also Donovan, if you go to the macros, what's the tab called? The the three eyes right next to settings. Settings is the gear on the top, all the way on the right, and then the tab right next to that has all your macros. If you click on long rest and short rest for in the bar, and you click on show macro quick bar, it will allow you to click on your token and take a long rest. Everybody else can go ahead and do that as well. And then right near the early morning hours, Nicholas, you're awoken by Trista. She tells you, "Get dressed, grab your sword, come quick."
Oh, better do that.
So as you do that, and Trista is just rushing you the whole time, like she's not even giving you the like privacy that she normally would, like turning around and everything. She's just like, "Yeah, let's go." Yeah, and she starts helping you like put your armor on, are you putting your armor on, or are you just gonna grab your sword and not put your armor on?
She's helping me.
She's
I'm putting it
armored.
on.
Yeah.
She seems to think I need it. I'm gonna put it on.
Yep.
And I'm
Is
just asking
this-
what's going on? What's going on?
She says, "Quiet," and puts her hand up to your mouth like to shush you, and and continues helping you get your armor on. She's like, this is something that we can't wake the others. They wouldn't understand right now. She's like, "I can count on you." And she just continues helping you, and she says all this real quietly, like supernaturally quietly. Like you don't understand how she can like be being this stealthy and quiet, because you knew her back at the academy to be capable, but she seems to just have taken this to like Olympic levels. And so
In the rush, it's
yeah,
interesting, but
yeah, nothing to like worry about. So she gets you all ready. You guys rush out, and she leads you off slightly into the woods, and she points, and you see Aubrey, and she has a spell book laid open, but it's not, you know, like the magic that you've seen Trista use a little bit and Einjamin used a little bit. Like there was stuff to that, but you look down and you see her like basically chanting, and as she does so, each time the book pulses and a burst of icy fog mist comes up, and it keeps appearing in the shape of like a demon, a succubus, over and over again. And if you want to expend one of your uses of divine sense,
Sure.
you get the immediate sense that her specific ice powers are coming from one of the 9 layers of hell that is completely frozen, and there is a succubus demon that has been giving her her powers, and she has hidden it very well but cannot hide it while she is um, re-energizing her spell book each day, memorizing it and doing all of that. She has to basically get this demon involved, and it's impossible to hide it at this moment. And so Trista followed her and waited until she had proof and has brought you. She had her suspicions that Aubrey was using her magic for an evil purpose, but didn't want to say anything because obviously she's been using magic. But after the conversation with her brother, she agrees that magic is a tool, and that doesn't make her evil for using it, but it does make somebody who's using it for evil evil. And she is still a knight of Caldonia, and she knows that her trusted confidant and the convoluted history that she's had with Nicholas and his family and everything, that she could count on you to steer her in the right direction and make sure that you guys did the right thing here. No problem.
Right. So has this demonic woman, has she observed us observing her?
No, no, she is entranced with the spellbook process right now.
I do have a question right quick.
Yeah,
Since trance only takes up 4 hours and then I'd act like I'm asleep for the other 4, would I have noticed them leaving?
possibly. Don't forget to do your long rest.
Yeah, I hit long rest.
Oh,
on
okay.
that.
Yeah, possibly.
Would-
If you wanna roll perception versus their stealth.
Yeah, I would. I'd be curious about them at least leaving.
Sure. Yeah, not a problem.
Oh,
Yeah, sneaky, sneaky elves. So even though Trista is like the best, you're the bestest. So you can follow them if you like.
despite what happened earlier, I am going to attempt to.
All right.
And he was never heard from again.
That's exactly what's gonna happen.
Yeah, but me or him? Which one's the he that's never heard from again? Arrows flying at my crotch all the time.
I was never flown at your crotch, okay?
Well,
Yet.
he was shooting at rats, which would be on the ground, and then the exploding arrow. No, it checks.
Well, okay, I give you that one.
So unless you would like to roll, Nicholas, the Elwyn would be capable of following then.
Nah,
Right.
it's higher than my passive, so
Yeah,
I'm pretty much intent on what's going on.
that's what I've figured as well. But like I said, I like to roll for these things because there's always the random chance. But I'm good with just letting it be. So, yeah, you follow and witness this as well. And Nicholas, what is your reaction?
Well, she's entranced. She's demonic. How far away am I from it?
Probably like 30 yards or so, not far, but not right up on her either.
For Caldonia.
Sorry, working over the character sheet. Man, it is a pain in the ass to read the spell descriptions on this thing. Is there an easier place to get to the spell descriptions than the spell book?
Sometimes you can pull them up from the compendium depending on what they are.
Okay, that could work too. I'm going to just stalk over, not rushing so as to make any noise. Just stalk over to her and attempt to basically use my shield and ram it into the back of her head. I'm trying to knock her unconscious.
And you do so. Your strong Caledonian knight arm is more than powerful enough. This young teenage, girl gets bashed in the back of the head with your heavy steel shield emblazoned with the symbol of Torm, and just instantly it knocks her unconscious and the connection breaks, and for a second you see the frost demon turn and look at you before it fades.
Okay, so it fades out pretty quickly?
Yeah.
Okay. I look at Trista and ask if she knows anything about this.
I know that I had my suspicions. I never was able to see her. She always had a locked room back when I was training with her, and so I never got to see what was happening. But yeah, I've had my suspicions.
Okay. As I recall, Aubrey was wearing a rather stylish ensemble, rough roughly about 3,000 gold pieces or dollars in real world currency.
What?
I looked up the outfit. It's a custom job. It's about 1,500, and there's a coat that was another 12. So yeah, she's rocking about $3,000.
We're not stealing from former players.
Oh no, not doing that. Rummaging through for anything that would look demonic, things like
Oh yeah.
amulets of demons.
Oh yeah.
Rings with spikes on them. Things that look evil.
You find several pieces of accoutrement that clearly indicate that she has been working with demonic forces.
Okay, just going to generally collect those things and ask if Trista has any. I've got an explorer's pack, so I've got rope. Tie her up a bit, bind her.
Yep.
Ankles and wrists, and also take some of that fashion and cram it into her mouth while she's unconscious.
Yep.
And tie that down as well. As I have seen recently, people that would employ such fell means of magic can sometimes do so with their mealy little mouths that I've been taking care of for decades. Did that come out that way? Whoops. So yeah, bind her hands, bind her feet, bind her mouth, throw her over the shoulder, and trekking back.
All right. So as the rest of you... Oh, Elwyn, do you do anything throughout this process?
I'm just gonna. I would have had an arrow ready, but in case things went south. But since they didn't, I'm not doing anything.
Gotcha. All right. So you quickly make your way back, and as the rest of you are waking up, you see Trista and Tristan come walking in with Aubrey slung and troused and yeah.
And just as a curiosity, based on the past, would Enjamin actually be asleep? Or would he be pretending drunk?
That's a good question. Let me do a roll, just out of curiosity. This is going to be a random chance.
So 50%?
Yep. He is asleep.
All right, good deal. So I guess we're walking into the mill. I'm just going to assume that Trista and Aubrey's icons are coming with me.
You can see smoke rising from the small hut, and Gabe is hard at work making more onion soup. It's the only thing that she can make right now
hell.
for breakfast.
It is to cry.
Benjamin, I need to go hunting.
So I'm just going to walk into the main room where everybody is. And I assume that Elwyn would have gotten back there before me.
For
fleet
sure.
of foot.
Yeah.
Carrying a body.
Morning, Nicholas. Jeez, what the hell is
Throw down the unconscious body.
Nicholas? What did you do?
I did the right thing. Your own sister caught this
I understand
woman
about what we talked about magic, but what?
communicating with a demon in the woods as I walked upon her.
What? And I look towards Trista. What? Trista, what?
It is true, brother. Like we said, sometimes these tools fall into the wrong hands, and when they do, those hands must be cut off.
If you had your suspicions, why did you bring her? Why don't you tell us?
Because there was nothing I could do so far from my home, but I knew that if I could bring her to you guys, I would have the upper hand.
That's. I guess that's fine. I
think you're meant to say genius. Thank you, brother.
That's okay. That's sure. Why not? Let's get everyone in here. Someone, Ellen, you're up. Can you go get Enjamin as well?
Raise them quickly. Gabe.
Yes, my lord.
Wake everyone. Bring them here.
Michael is already running off, shouting, getting everybody up.
Oh, what's happening? Oh my.
That's fun.
No longer the perfect icon over there.
I never asked for them.
This
you got them anyway.
I guess it's an interesting morning, Enjamin, that's for sure. It seems that our companion, quote unquote, Aubrey, has been dealing with the Nicholas. What was it? The demon?
A demon of ice.
Interesting.
And it seems like my sister knew about it, yet still brought her with us. And
Trista braved the company of this beast who has traded her soul to a demon. I saw it.
I understand that. Trista, I respect you. You are my sister, my family, my blood, but we were in situations where we should have known this. It's at times our we had our backs to her the entire at some points, and what if
We
this
are not
demon?
murderers, brother.
I-
She must face justice.
I
that's
never
fine, and I'm
turned
not
my back on
telling.
this witch, not once. Just for the record, let the record show. If you go back and watch the videos,
Yeah,
every time we
I
would move from
actually
place to place, Nicholas was always behind her,
I
never
remember.
trusting her.
I remember. I remember as a player, but as a character, I don't. I made a note of that too on my notebook. It's we're so far. Anjamin, I don't know. You were better in justice and law
Gabe.
class than me.
Gabe, Michael,
Yes, my lord.
take Soggy to town. The folk will recognize him. They will recognize your colors. Where did you get those colors?
Oh, they don't have the right colors, just the right symbol.
Oh, they're not. The symbol, though.
Yeah,
That's
'cause they
the
don't
same
have
thing as
purple.
colors, right? Where did you get those?
I made
doesn't
them, my
matter.
lord.
Take Soggy to town. Bring the authorities. Bring the guards. Bring
Nicholas,
them, and
no,
the clergy will be there.
no,
Bring them
what,
here now.
Nicholas? Think about this. We cannot bring outside forces in this situation. It's especially from this town.
Remember, even when we were in the sewers, even when we were in the water, where was she? As we fought, no words, no aid, nothing. People of this town, they should at least know what we're doing. Otherwise, we will become like the lords on the hill, suspect above them. Though we may be their betters, they must see us.
If you're wanting to have the town take care of her, don't bring the town here, because if we're planning to use this place as a hideout, we can't. Doesn't do much good. I can take her to town and get her to the authorities like that.
I'm curious as to which authorities you had in mind. Because as I recall, the only authorities that we've encountered here are possibly worse than she.
I do not recognize them.
So then who? Who here has authority to deal justice to this person? Other than you.
I imagine the clergy, though they be mostly worthless,
Yeah.
would relish the opportunity.
And you
if the
think it'll be
clergy-
different?
What if the clergy are working with Lord Gerard and Lady Belladonna and their strange companion in the shadows? I think the entire reason why we've moved away from the town and come here is quite valid. I think everybody who in authority in that town is suspect. And I think that turning her over to them would only be giving them a weapon to use against us. So, you found someone who communes with a demon and gets power from it. Your course seems pretty clear, brother.
Trista, what do you suggest?
As I said, we are not murderers. She must face justice, and her trial will determine her fate.
How could there possibly be a trial? There's no court, there's no
Anjamin.
authority.
We not here, that's for sure.
So we just
Caledonia
tie her up
can.
and leave her here?
We can take her away, or someone can.
So
Sloppy.
Nicholas just kind of huffs up a bit and goes, "Remember the academy. What would they have done?" DM,
Yes.
Well, what
what would they have done?
Yeah,
They-
we have
they-
no idea.
They would have
Yeah,
turned her
we know-
over. They would have turned her
Yes.
over to the authorities, and the church is
No, I'm saying
absolutely.
I'm saying if it was inside the academy and someone was doing that inside the academy, like you just they're kicked out, they're
I'm
turned
guessing.
over. Like,
no.
keep
They're
justice
like,
in house. Yeah, like
If someone shows magic, they'll be taken away quietly and then never seen again.
So yeah, usually what happens in the case of like he said, with actual magic, they disappear. But there is like every so often like a public showing of like this person is a heretic, and they are put on trial in a very public forum, and then they are punished. Each city state has like their own version of that punishment, and it usually involves the church in some way, usually, not always. Some of them have more of a federally controlled system for that, but in a lot of places it is the churches that determine things. So you will get places that are more merciful and all of that. Here in New Eglia, these are worshippers of the sacred goddess of light, and they are basically like a
I don't think. Do we need to know this right now?
well, to understand what the punishment would be, they are kind of like a Puritan kind of themed religion. Very, New England.
Okay.
They would kill her.
Like we said before, the authorities here, we can't trust them. We don't know enough. The only interaction we had with the church, and that was, I think Ellen still has a bruise from them. It's
You are right. You are both right. It is hard for me sometimes to stay clear, and I thank you both. Torm speaks through both of you. And though strangely, I walk over calmly, pick up Aubrey, and walk back outside.
I'm gonna follow.
I'm going to assume that Donovan's not there for the moment. Just
Yeah, he's gonna meet you guys as soon as we get to the
Okay,
next stage.
groovy.
Yeah.
after we get through our long.
I'm
drawn-out
like,
monologue.
geez. Yeah.
All right, and I'm gonna stalk off just off the side of the mill, wherever there were some trees. As I recall, there was like a kind of waterway on one side, a cliff kind of thing. And
I
then
make
some
sure
trees
Trista
not too
comes with
far.
us as well.
Nicholas,
Nicholas, what are you doing?
Michael, go back inside.
I walk up and just prop up Aubrey against a tree.
I'm ready to need action. Anything aggressive towards Aubrey, I intervene.
Why?
Why not? What? You say why?
Yes.
If he does kill her, I'll stop him.
Why?
This is not what we do.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not. What? Are we... Can we argue this in game instead of this?
No.
Okay. The entire reason we are here is to basically sponge the laws that we've been taught the entire time. And it's basically like Einjamin says, to face justice. Or Nicholas. And for this, especially this is just execution.
But you were just
You're not
arguing
judge,
not
jury,
to take her to the church. Like,
not to the church, somewhere else.
What's
that
it?
they're
What's it gonna
actual
be?
control.
Like, what's it gonna be? Like, we got to.
I was
going to
suggest.
here.
I was gonna suggest that Trista takes Aubrey out towards somewhere that's not under their control, and hand it over to them. Better than just murdering someone. We don't know the story of Aubrey's story.
That's why I said right away. I don't give a crap about Aubrey's story. So the whole purpose is that Trista said you guys are not murderers. So like, I already covered that. Like, yeah, she should be turned over. You guys don't have weeks or days or however long to ride off to somewhere else. This whole area.
As a character, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to let him murder somebody.
Well, I already covered that the murdering was not part of the whole plan. The plan is that you guys take her and turn her over to the authorities.
We can't do
Well,
this. What?
there are no authorities.
Yeah, none of them are characters trust in any sort of way. Not here.
Is there a local village nearby?
I was basically suggesting somewhere that's not under their control. It's
which is
day
days
away.
and weeks away.
So, I I put my hand on Tristan's arm as he's holding his action to draw his sword, and I say, trust him.
This is not what we trained for. If he's going to do what I think he is,
You need to have faith.
I want to have faith that he's. I mean, watch it. Still ready.
There's clearly only one logical thing he can do. Only one possible logical thing he can do. One thing.
What
that
if
we've
it
been
was you,
trained to do.
Anjuman? What if it was
Hmm?
you? What if it was you, tied up like this?
I would expect him to kill me. Actually, I'd expect anyone else to kill me.
I thought, and you would let it happen.
He'd be doing her a favor.
I didn't think you as a coward. And he shakes off your hand.
I'm not a coward. I'm standing here trusting that what needs to happen is going to happen.
Nicholas
coward talk.
approaches Aubrey. No weapons drawn. Even the shield is laid down. Reaches out with a hand and rips the gag off of her. She's still tied up, propped up against a tree, kind of half standing, like a drunk person would be propped against a tree.
Sure. Yeah.
Rips the gag off and just kind of cuffs her across the back of the head, trying to wake her up.
She kind of half falls forward as she'll fall to her knees if nobody stops and catches her.
I catch her and prop her back up. I'm
All
keeping
right.
her propped up
And-
back against the tree.
And she spits out a little bit of blood, and as she does so, it kind of freezes on the ground where it was, and she looks at you and she starts to laugh and chant in an arcane language.
As she does, I'm gonna fire an arrow into her eye.
Crikey.
Didn't see
As-
that coming.
I was debating this
Jesus.
whole time. That solidified it right there.
The arrow strikes a shield of ice and shatters.
I stand in front of her, looking straight at her, ready to bring out the sword, standing right in front of her, as though I'm daring her to do something.
She has a cold, frosty look in her eyes and just stares intently at you, chanting.
Was she able to recover her spells from the night?
You don't know.
Well, I don't know. Guess we're all gonna find out.
Is this something we want to do initiative with, or are we just playing it by ear right now?
I'm just waiting to see what you guys are gonna do.
Nicholas is outright staring right at her, daring her to do anything.
She
She's
continues chanting, yeah.
I assume it's in a language that I don't understand.
It's arcane tongue.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Can I decipher it?
If you're talking about like identify a spell or something like that, you can
Like our Arcana check.
yeah, you can attempt to do that. So you definitely recognize that this is some kind of ritual, but it's nothing you have ever heard or seen or anything. You have a limited understanding of magic thanks to your studies and book and all of that, but it's not like you have the encyclopedia magica of like every spell out there to begin with, and this just so happens to be custom stuff because that's how the character had to be.
Okay. I don't know what that's. This is Nicholas's thing. I'm trusting him to do what he's doing.
Yeah, I'm just waiting to see how this plays out before, moving. I'm just trying to get to the next stage, as meta knowledge for you guys here. Like I'm not trying to drag this out. Whatever you guys want to do here. So
Well, there's an interesting push and pull here between what the characters would do, what the players would do, what the story wants to do, and what the DM wants us to do. So I think there's a way through for everyone to get a satisfactory answer. Just have to wait and see if it happens.
Nicholas, what are you planning? And Aubrey, stop that. Whatever you're gonna cast, you'll be dead before you actually do it.
the chanting intensifies.
I gag her mouth again. Jesus Christ.
Well, you
Why,
approach
Tristan?
Nicholas. You're right there. Like what happens?
I'm surprised that he would do that, so it happens.
Okay.
And I ask, why, Tristan? Let her be damned by her own actions.
And
Or
she will face justice for it, but not like this. You are goading her just so you can strike her down. Is this what you want to be? This who you are?
If you woke up and I was in front of you, would you smite me? Not knowing anything else. I had no battle with her. I fought her not. She was taken unawares. Upon awakening, immediately began casting.
Doesn't. Nicholas, this is not what we do. We defend ourselves, yes. We have killed, yes. But not like this.
Okay. I have to say at this point, I just gotta say this, and Donovan, you're not gonna get it. But at this point, Soggy must be screeching about no fight.
Oh God,
no
I know. Oh God.
Yes, yes he
Oh,
will
that's
be.
absolutely true.
Let's just assume that Soggy is almost distracting Elwyn, and Enjamin
I got
is
a phone call,
containing
give me a sec.
Soggy.
That's the only reason I haven't tried firing another arrow is because of Soggy.
Okay, good.
I could justify that with my alignment.
I gotta represent.
Okay. Back. Sorry. Where was I? Oh. Nicholas, if
Are you still here, Donovan?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he's there.
He's just like focused in on this.
Oh, I
No,
didn't see him on Roll20. That's why I asked.
Yeah.
No, he's on.
Cool. All right, keep going. So let's.
Where was I?
I'm just gonna say I'm trying not to step in, but like we gotta move
Yeah.
this forward.
Let me ask you, Tristan. As we have been sent out by Caldonia and come to this land, wave around. This land of evil, ruled by evil. You have seen it. You were there. We didn't actually dine with them because of the evil. Trista knows what evil lurks. The village is a mockery. The clergy is a joke. Who then is the authority here?
Then take her somewhere else, away, towards Caldonia. Anywhere else, not here. We need to do this the proper way. It's easy. There is an easy path. Just kill her here. Be done with it. But there's the easy way and the right way. I just thought you would have chose differently. And then he walks
Trista
away.
jumps in and reminds you guys that the right way is to follow the laws of the land that you're in, as Caldonia has taught you to do when you go out that you're not supposed to like go out and just start doing things your own way, that you're supposed to like follow the laws of the land and ingratiate yourself to the people as heroes. And so turning her over to the clergy is like what you are taught to do.
He said his piece and he's walking away now.
And she's right. Nicholas turns around. I would remind each of you, I never held a weapon. And takes Aubrey down.
Nicholas, roll insight, otherwise just an unskilled wisdom. It's kind of the same difference, but I think insight will work best here, because
Sure.
when the demon turned and looked at you, that was her connection, like her spirit familiar that saw you. That's how she knows.
Okay.
But you don't quite realize it. So
Didn't do so good, yeah.
So you're saying you take her down?
Yep, he's taking her down.
Down to...
The ground.
Okay. Benjamin's just watching. It's very important to him what happens next.
So, are we going? What was it, Trista, to the church? This town's... Let's just be done with it.
And just DM to players, I'm going to remind you, I never said the church was evil or anything. I said they were, like, overwhelmed.
Yeah,
I didn't even say it now.
As players, we know that for sure.
Okay, okay, just
earlier in
making
the
sure.
notes- No,
As
earlier in the
characters.
notes, Nicholas had established that he didn't think much of the local clergy, but they are the local clergy. And role-playing
Yeah.
into the lawful alignment, even if they're not very good, it's still their job.
Right.
And the insinuation that they were not lawful and not good was purposefully made by Benjamin.
And it was basically, especially them attacking people in a sense that they were
Oh, no, totally.
still ready to.
Benjamin was egging it on.
Yeah, we know.
Absolutely.
And again, they're overwhelmed, and like the mob was like rowdy, and you know, like they,
Yeah, we
No, it's good.
get
No,
that.
we
As
get it.
players,
It's all
as
good.
players, we
Yeah.
get that. As characters, we're taking it a different way.
Oh, okay. I and just DM making sure that everybody was on the same page. That's all.
Nope. And as Nicholas is dragging Aubrey in, somewhat roughly, but not,
Yeah, not
accidentally
abusing
break,
her.
not
right.
accidentally break her skull, just not very gently. Yells out to Trista. Trista, there needs to be a conversation about what you do know. And then drags Aubrey into the just the little area where this little side room thing.
Gabe in Michael's room.
Is that what that is?
This is
I don't know.
this is the hut that the millwright and his wife slept and cooked and everything in.
Okay, then take him into the main mill. Take her into the main mill. There's tie her up on. I assume the big stones, the grindstones, and all that are still intact.
Yeah, but as you read, they had been sabotaged prior to the millwright dying.
I just meant that they're big and heavy and wood, stone, and
You just want to tie him onto a post.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
Yeah.
There's literally posts right, like around us.
Yeah,
Okay.
so the water
she's
wheel
tied up on
isn't
a post.
turning the mill currently, is what I'm
I
saying.
wasn't trying to grind her head in. I just wanted to find something solid.
No, I'm just saying that it wasn't working, so you didn't have to worry about that.
Okay. I wasn't worried.
That would be a very interesting
okay.
turn.
I'm like, what the fuck?
Good lord.
Okay. So, are we agreeing to take her to the church then? He's talking to Nicholas.
Yes. Trista will fill us all in on what she knows, and I glare at Trista. Not in a like a I hate you kind of way, but like, when are you going to tell these people? Like, damn.
Tell them what? I'm sorry. As DM,
Whatever she knows.
as far as the vampires or what?
No,
No,
it's about the suspicions of
Aubrey.
Aubrey kind of thing.
Yeah.
But
Oh,
we know
oh!
that it didn't happen before, but it's like, yeah, we get it. It's more
yeah,
of an indirect thing.
I'm sorry. I thought it was assumed that Trista was backing Nicholas up here. I was trying not to fill time.
No.
with-
What asking Trista to be specific and telling people.
Oh yeah, so Trista is like, no, you need to listen to him. With our own eyes, we witnessed her chanting with a demon forming in front of her. The demon stared deep into our souls as we watched, as after Nicholas bashed her in the back of the head, the demon was still looking at us. This is not just, you know, us running wild with our imaginations or suspicions or, you know, anything.
And we have never doubted you two. It's just, it's been a long week. Let's just get to the church. Trista, I trust you with my life, and of course we're here.
We're in the church.
So, you
Is
guys
this a
go to the
church?
church. No, you guys have been to the church before. Do we need to go there first, or can we just skip ahead with what happens?
Okay, I get.
So, you guys go to the church. The church is like, oh, heresy? We deal with that right away around here. We don't tolerate heretics. That's nonsense.
Do
and-
we really need to do this? Jesus.
And so they take her and put her in a cell, and then later the next day there is a trial, and the trial is very swift. Basically, they just call on Trista and Nicholas and have you guys, you know, state, you know, who you are and what you witnessed, and they ask Aubrey to deny it, and whenever they you know, try to get her to do any of that, she just starts chanting again, and they're forced to gag her, and so they bring her into the town square, and they have her tied at the stake, and they have a priest, an old priest, who is the grand master of the church, and he does not come out ever, but he comes out and he speaks to the crowd gathered around. And as the crowd is gathered around and you guys are no longer, you know, testifying, and you kind of fade back into the crowd, Donovan, you find Trista in the crowd of people you were watching, and you spot her, and you can make your way to them as all of this is happening. And so I'm just going to continue to describe for a little bit what is happening. And Donovan, you can jump in when you know, you want to, you know, talk to them. If you want to have them like get out of here or whatever's happening, you know, you can let me know. But I'm just going to describe what happens quick, and then we'll decide in what sequence it happens in. So as the priest is talking to the crowd of people, he tells them, "People, today we have a heretic, a witch consorting with the most foul of demons. We have the word of a trusted paladin who has done good works, and many of you know him. He has sworn on his honor that this woman has consorted with demons before his own eyes. He has brought her here to face justice, and it is justice that she must face. All of you know, magic has been condemned, forbidden, and the penalty is death for any who would practice the dark arts and bring us back to the age of destruction. This woman, by her own words, has condemned herself and her body to burn. And at that, the crowd, there's like a mixed reaction. Like, part of the crowd is just like, more witches, and part of the crowd is like, mercy and boo, and just all of that, because they just don't believe in magic. They don't believe that she's actually a witch. They think that she's a crazy person who needs help, and so there's a mixed reaction from the crowd. And he walks over and sets the pyre ablaze.
Well, somehow I feel like it would have been cleaner if we had just done it back at the mill.
Idiotic superstition.
At the
What was
very
that?
least, Enjamin, let these people see that we continue to work in their favor.
Hmm.
And now, as each of you sees the fire growing hotter and higher, you hear no screams, but you see a sheen of frost begin to form across Aubrey's face for a second. And as the flames come up and over the frost, each of you has a moment. Staring into the flames, you feel something profound and changing within your character. That's for you to decide as a player what that is. But each of you just stares and sees something, and especially Einjamin, you feel something, with the fire and everything. There's just something about a woman in the fire. There's something going on there. And so each of you sees something, and Nicholas's face just kind of becomes hardened for a moment, and I'll let you guys go from there.
Okay, Nicholas has something, but anybody else want to jump in?
Donovan does not revel in such matters. He walks behind a corner, even though he's still in view. He stays silent, contemplates the past, and remembers the death of.
Can I roll a perception or something? Can I roll like a passive perception
To notice this?
to notice a person who is most likely very out of place?
Yeah. In fact, you would notice that Trista has signaled you that she would have mentioned to you earlier that she has a contact here, um, and this she motions that this is her contact standing off in the corner over there.
Okay, great. Well, she's got a great track record with her contacts. Let me tell you.
Listen,
All right,
this one is okay.
I just want to. Before I go into a bit of a, before I turn into a drama queen, Elwyn shooting any arrows at the freezing, burning corpse there.
Oh yeah, Elwyn, just to kind of not gonna tell you how you feel, just gonna tell you something that it reminds you of is as you were fighting in a battle, there was a huge fire used to smoke out the enemy, and this reminds you of that.
All right. No, I'm not firing any arrows currently. The main reason for firing the arrow earlier was just to prevent anything bad happening to us. It's preventative action.
All right.
Benjamin can't take much more of this. He's
Okay.
tried
Can we
to,
just leave now? It's
hold-
done.
Okay. Nicholas turns to Elwyn and strangely has a weird eyeball on a couple people. There's a weird look in his face.
You seeing
It's-
something over there?
It's pardon?
Oh, you said you're looking at me, so I
oh
was-
yeah, looking at Elwyn a little bit. Has a strange look in his face. A little bit like that type of religious zealotry that some people get. Not like glorifying, not like aha, burn the, not like that. Just like this is the will, blah blah blah. That kind of illogical, pure logic. You either agree with it, like you can never teach a non-believer, you can never convince a believer, that type of thing. Looks at them and says, at one time, this is what Caldonia would have done to any non-human. Looks down at Soggy as well. I'm sure Soggy's very unhappy.
Yeah, Soggy does not like this at
looks
all.
at Elwyn and looks at Elwyn and then kind of looks at Trista and Tristan. There was a time when those in Caldonia would do this to any non-human. Just repeats it again. This is not what I want. Then Nicholas turns and looks at the pyre. And just because everybody was so focused on him, you can all see this. And then does a double take. Like he snaps out of this weird, let me preach at you kind of thing. Takes a little step forward. Turns around, looks at everybody like they're not there. Like looking right past you. Like you're not even there. Looks right past Enjamin. Turns back around to the pyre. Takes another step and then starts to run at the fire, yelling the word, my brother.
I tackle him.
I was about to say I'm not ready to join you on that one.
You're going to have to roll for that, fella.
All right. So this would be an unarmed strike or a grapple.
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 All right,
And
I'll
you
just assist Einjamin.
assume that Elwyn's giving you advantage.
Yeah, I'm assisting him.
I love grapple. All right.
tactics.
So
Elwyn's got
this
that
is
speed.
there is not a macro for this, right?
No, just athletics or acrobatics. For you, I assume athletics, of course.
It's only athletics or strength.
Oh,
If you're getting-
it's
if
not
you're the one
acrobatic.
getting
Oh,
gra-
it's only
if you're-
acrobatics
no,
if you're the
if you're
defender.
defending.
If you're the defender, yeah.
Yeah,
And
So-
Nicholas has no idea that there's anyone there to even be defending. And
Not
is
bad. Not
and
bad.
is thusly tackled.
Yep.
And is muttering.
What is he
Nicholas-
muttering?
What do you?
Still not recognizing.
I slap your face. Tristan slaps Nicholas in the face. We need to get him out of here. Something's wrong.
agreed.
I agree.
Let's go.
At this point, Soggy is just jumping up and down and losing his mind.
He's been losing his mind for the past day or so.
It's been 2 days already.
And Nicholas is out.
All
You
right.
want to be the one to carry him.
We'll carry him.
Back to the mill.
Yeah, I would
Well,
say
Trista motions to Tristan and lets him know that she's gonna go to the contact.
He pays no attention and just takes Nicholas or helps Enjamin and Elwyn. and we start at the very least leaving this circle or square town square.
And
So
at the most, going back to the mill.
Yeah.
We're going to go to Manticore's tail.
No, the mill, not the Manicore's. I think we pretty much said that we're not staying in town
Okay,
at night
just-
and things like
this
that.
is
what I
this
figured.
is the new posh part of town too. This isn't the slummy part of town.
It's all bad, man.
Oh yeah, it's still Lakeshore. Like, don't get it twisted. You don't love it no matter what. I'm just letting you know that
Yeah,
the
but
Manicore's
like I
tail
said-
is you got to cross the wall and everything to get to the Manicore's tail.
Got it. All right, so to the mill then.
Yeah, to the mill.
So
I figured they probably have it, so I'm gonna go join
Donovan,
Trista just to sort of check on the contact.
sure. So Donovan, Trista approaches you with a fella that looks strange to you. You can roll for insight or investigation to see if you notice that he is not human. Depending on how hard you're looking. It'd be investigation if you're like, trying to find out if he's not human, or just like a passive perception or insight would do if it's like nothing you're looking for.
I think it's just that should be how his character interacts with other strangers. What would he think? Would he always be checking if there's vampire?
Right.
I think that's the kind of nature you want to ask.
Yeah, that's basically what I'm saying is how is he approaching the situation? Is he automatically suspicious of everyone, or is it more like, okay, this person is coming with a trusted contact, so I'm good?
Sir Donovan.
Use your character sheet. Just go to
Hey.
your journal and then use that.
Yeah, if you just open up the journal and then right where the skills tab is, you just click on the D20 there. And then also on the chat over there, you'll see as, and if you select as Donovan the character, then it will put the little circle like everybody else has.
I already have that there.
Yeah, but you have it as the player Donovan McGrady. Select the other one.
All right, I'm sorry. How do I do that?
So under the chat as, there's the little drop down bar. You'll see.
Okay, I see.
So just select the other one and you're good to go. So I don't do like natural 20s and 1s as automatic failures or successes when it comes to these kinds of things, but it's safe to assume that you do not notice anything. Yeah.
Who are you and what do you want?
So-
Really with Trista, that's all.
So Trista's like, this is one of the companions that I told you I would be sending for when I left. I went to train and I sent for my brother and his friends, and they have met this man who has helped them along the way, and I trust him now as, a companion as well. We all have a place out of town that is safer to speak at. As you know, we're not safe to talk here in town, so we're going to meet them back there. Come with us, please.
Could I possibly do like an insight check to see if I could figure anything about his person by looking at him?
I
What
mean,
are you trying to insight him?
yeah, what exactly are you trying to figure out is what I need to know, really.
Just what kind of person he is, Like what? Like
I
do
don't
get
know,
these-
man. That's way too
Like
vague.
a human.
No,
Is,
no. Like
if
what
you-
kind?
okay.
Like
Elwin, how about this?
what is?
Is
I
he
like-
trained? Is he a warrior? Is he a
I like
fighter?
long conversations and walks on the beach.
Like, is he good or evil? Like, what kind of
No.
air is he giving off?
No.
Single white demon hunter, just looking for, someone who can go out there and slay
Just very
demons
nice.
with.
Well, that's more of a
Just very
character thing you need to do. That's role playing, man.
Yeah, like as far as that kind of stuff, I would never, reveal something character wise, by allowing a role like that. That stuff.
Man, if you just
Right.
got
I'm
you
just
just got
trying
to
to get a
you just
general
got to
feel
take
of the
some
air
levels in
around.
paladin so you can detect evil, man. Otherwise, it's just a dude. It's just a dude.
Just a
Yeah,
dude.
you can the inside check for a new stranger. It's like sound. You can get their demeanor, like how they walk. You can, if you roll high enough, you can tell if they're trained or not, that kind of thing. But knowing someone's personality by just looking at them, that's kind of not how it's used.
Right.
But Donovan's
Like,
free
you
to
can-
describe his outfit or anything else that you might notice, on him or about him that he, has presented to the public, like he's free to describe any of that. But as far as, just like, can I roll to know that he's, whatever, like, no.
Right. Just figured I'd ask.
No problem.
What is this place? Why have you brought me to the mill?
This is where we have been holding out now. Well, we will be holding out now, as it's not safe in town with the Lord and Lady being suspected vampires, and we need to be careful because they have a lot of people in their employ that are loyal to them all throughout the town, spying for them everywhere they go, and they're quick to execute anyone who speaks ill of them.
All right, I start to walk around. I check every.
You can see that the mill has been damaged from some fire, but otherwise has been cleaned and there's nothing really noticeable. It's just an old river mill that seems to not be functioning.
And I'm guessing while he's doing that, we are. I guess since we're a bit ahead, we have set down Nicholas and done whichever we need. Try to
Of
wake him up.
course. Yeah. Which it's on Nicholas to decide when he wakes up.
Nicholas is coming in and out, just being shaken a little bit, and out of character after monologuing so much, just taking a break.
Yep. Benjamin, what?
I think he just needs rest.
I guess it's what? It's been like 2 days now. Jeez Christ.
2 days since
We've
what?
no, since it just feels these days have gone by fast, especially since we've been to the sewer. It's especially after Aubrey and the revelations there, and then this trial. It's too much time. We need. I didn't think it would be going like this. I thought we'd be really helping people, but people are still sick. It doesn't seem as bad as before, but I don't know. And now Nicholas, I'm sure he'd be better, but... And then this guy who's just walking around everywhere, I don't understand what's happening, actually.
Ah,
I'll
yes,
see about that. I'll stay with.
this
I'll stay
is
with,
my contact that I told you about. He is going to be most invaluable in the battle to come.
Like Aubrey?
I told you, I brought her here to trick her, to trap her, and it worked.
That's...
I'm a genius.
I just hope you're telling us all we need to know.
Oh, don't
That's
worry,
all.
brother. I always tell you exactly what you need to know.
That's not comforting.
We need to decide our next move. We've wasted enough time with this already. Yeah, and I try to gather everybody up.
Who is that?
Who is what?
That's rummaging through our stuff. He's just walking.
It's,
I know he's
Trista
just walking
says we could trust him, I guess.
What does he
He's-
look like?
Yeah, well, describe this character that we were seeing, who's being all suspicious like and crazy.
He wears dark robes and a dark hood. He is equipped with a mace, a heavy crossbow, and a whip. Something you notice as he looks around, he looks at the ceiling. He's looking under the staircase. He's looking under the gears of the mill, and generally checks about anywhere where a person could be hiding.
Hey, you! What are you doing? Trista says we could trust you, but what are you? This place is safe. We've cleared it ourselves, and we have people here all the time. If there's somebody, they will tell us.
Out of character, do you have an understanding of what our characters look like and all that? Do you need that, or do you want to save that for another time?
I'm assuming you guys generally look like the pictures you've chosen.
That's correct.
Actually, we actually found pretty good pictures.
Valid point.
Sometimes it takes a try or two, but we get there.
Yeah, a few weeks or months.
And does that go for you as well? You generally look like your picture.
Pretty much, yeah.
All right.
Let's get back to it. Go ahead.
I'd rather not get eaten in my sleep if that's all right with you.
The rat problem has been dealt with, friend. What's your name?
I'm talking about a different kind of vermin.
Okay, Batman, but I'm sorry. It's safe here. We've checked, but if you feel safer that way, that's fine too. What is your name? Who are you? I understand Trista trusts you, but we don't know you.
The name's Donovan McGrady.
And
That's all they get
Shalemore,
for now.
nice to meet you.
And it's Tristan and this unconscious fellow in the armor. It's Nicholas. And I think
Yeah, he knows Trista, so.
Yeah, and Elwyn, I think. Yeah. And this, and that thing is Soggy. It's just ignore him.
I'm having.
Oh, God.
He has the haves.
But if Trista says you're going to be a part of this operation, then it's perfect time. We're about to discuss our next move. Gonna slap Nicholas a few more times. I guess he's now waking up. And just slump him over.
Our next move.
I like how it's unclear whether you're trying to wake him up or just getting a few more slaps in before he wakes up.
That's debatable, but that's here or there. Neither here or there.
Hydraman's already figured out what's going on there, and he's not stopping it. He's just like, yeah, hit him again.
Yeah.
That's pretty much what I imagine. He's like, hit him again. Make sure he's unconscious.
So, alright, Einjamin sits on the staircase right here, props his brother up against the wall, and just sort of...
And we'll just, yeah. And if you read through the checklist thing on the Discord, then we're just giving you a summary of that already, so your character knows what's happened. Yeah. So, yeah, a few days ago, we finished up with the sewers in the Odiog from where you stand. It was mutated from God knows what. And then aside from that, not brief, but...
A dragon!
Yes, we all know.
Hey, welcome.
Yes. Where was that? But we don't understand how it got mutated, at the very least.
The characters, correct. You don't have a full understanding, although Soggy does a little because he rolled Arcana and was able to...
Yeah. But Soggy is Soggy, so I don't know.
Correct.
If he says it, we were like, I don't trust what you think. That's my rationale, at least.
Does he even think?
It's Soggy. He knows what he does. He's got an intelligence score above 10, I think. So we were just talking. We were just going to discuss what our next step is.
My vote is still to see about those ruins.
I Elwin, I understand you're curious about it, but do we need to do it now? Will it save this town?
I still stand by the fact that there might be something there that could aid us.
We can't. And how we don't know how big it is, how long we'll be there. What happens if we get lost? Will we be there for weeks? And then what happened up here?
These are all things that we could take into account and make arrangements for. I'm not saying that that's what we do, but I think it is a valid choice in lots of ways.
I just don't.
However, it is kind of not visible. If what we're trying to do is to galvanize the public under a banner of Caldonia so that we can rise up against
Anjamin,
whatever evil force.
Anjamin, we're not supposed to do that now. You're not supposed to say this publicly.
Sounds a
Fine.
great way of getting everyone slaughtered.
What do you mean? But that can't be that bad, can they? I mean,
Okay.
They've got a group of guards that probably are
Okay,
well
Anjamin.
trained.
Let's just say it works. You galvanize the people. They start forming groups. And how will they arm themselves? Where will they get their food? Who will command them?
He points at the hogsheads of very strong liquor. I bet if we give that to the guards, they'll be too drunk to do anything.
What? You want to make the entire guard post of this town drunk and take their weapons, tie them up?
Guards are the least of your concern.
Yes, it's the Lord and the Lady we have to worry about.
Well, why?
They're monsters, Trista says.
Well, we've fought a few of those already. I'm not saying that we should just barge in, but I think some sort of organized attack with the people who have been most hurt by them could at least get us inside.
So, send the people, the citizens, the peasants, against their army, and while they're being slaughtered, we sneak into the castle.
You people are a joke. Give me a call. Let me know when you have your things together.
Well, what insights do you have to offer there, strange one?
For one, let's not have a population of peasants fight against a vampire lord.
What's a vampire lord? Trista mentioned that before. And why are you so sure that this is our problem?
So you would know, Donovan, that these guys come from Caldonia, where they're not familiar with the monsters that you have encountered. You would be from Carpathia, and in Carpathia, vampires exist and are known about to an extent that's just not widely publicly, known and spread throughout all the lands. And so, it's like cultural beliefs, to where some cultures are very superstitious and believe in things and others aren't. People consider Carpathians to be very superstitious, but you, of course, know vampires to be real, but you understand that they do not.
And out of game, if you want to just sort of say that you tell us and inform us what vampires are, that's fine.
Yeah.
Or you can roleplay it out. I was just sort of giving you an opportunity.
Would Ellen know what a vampire is?
To an extent, you are aware that they exist, though you've never encountered them.
Vampires. Undead monstrosities. Former mortal. They think like us. They look like us. And they feed upon the living. They are no better than leeches, but more powerful than you can imagine.
Then how would you approach it?
But no, I think we might have fought one of them already.
That
Down in the crypt when when we found a Sword of Arcadius.
That creature was in a coffin. It was desperately attacking us.
It was definitely interested in, what did you say, feeding off the living. But not like, it didn't get the feeling. It was latched onto me. It was trying to bite me. We only barely managed to kill it before it succeeded. And then even after it was dead, we put it back in its coffin. Oh no, we killed it. And then we came back into the room and it was gone. We found it back inside his coffin. Like it was.
I pull out my crossbow and I approach. Were you bit?
No, I wasn't. That was a close thing though.
I'm gonna try to see if I can look at it.
I'm pointing that somewhere else there, friend.
One second. Does he appear to have any bite marks visibly on him? Hello?
Good question. Good question.
DM.
Do I need to answer that? I mean, he knows.
Well, I think he did a perception roll.
You know you weren't bitten, so there couldn't possibly be any bite marks on you.
That's right. You were waiting. I didn't know what the difficulty class was.
Maybe
difficulty-
he was making out with. Maybe he was making out with Tristan.
Maybe he
got a
rolled
little
so
bit
low
bitey.
that maybe he rolled so low he thought he was bitten. I don't know.
I know. If the call is mine, then no, I was definitely not
he could roll a natural one, but I mean, unless there's something on your neck that could possibly be mistaken for a bite.
There is not.
Put my weapon away then.
What are you looking for? What are you looking to see if I'd been bit? If I had, would you have shot me?
That's how the disease spreads.
It's a disease.
Oh, great! Another.
This town has had a lot of diseases. Is there anything
Benjamin
about this
has had a lot of diseases
Oh, quite a few.
Yes, he has.
Quite a few.
in the
Quite a
game.
few.
That we know of.
So I describe the type of disease that we've been dealing with the giant rats and the Otyugh and all that sort of thing, and try to cross-reference if it has anything to do with.
It has come to be called the Red Plague here in Lakeshore.
The Red Plague. Then I describe the effects of the Red Plague and try and cross-reference it with this disease of vampirism that Donovan has spoken of.
No, I speak of monsters, cowardice, lecherous beings who sneak into people's houses at night like thieves and feast upon their women and children.
And you think that Lord Gerhardt and Lady Belladonna and Lord Marius?
Yeah.
No, Count Maxius.
Out of character reminder. Nicholas had used his paladin abilities and told everybody that they were extremely evil.
And Trista told us multiple times that there were vampires already as well.
I know. I'm just trying to get it all out.
And considering the fact that we found this Sword of Arcadius, the only thing that we know of so far that's been able to kill one of these things in a crypt, wouldn't it stand to reason that maybe another thing would be inside those ruins?
How? Are we doing it as character?
Oh, I was doing that in character.
Yeah, that's a stretch.
I don't... Elwyn, it's... We can... I don't under... If
What
it's
Tristan
there...
is trying to say
I'm kind of flabbergasted what to say right now. It's like it's kind of out of character. This is like I don't know what motivation there is to do that at all. I just can't see it. I'm sorry.
Well,
I mean,
then,
I could come up
Tristan,
with motivation and all that. That's not exactly the issue here so much as I tend to agree with GTA that it's a bit of a stretch to just assume that you would
Yeah.
find something that would help you.
But I get that Elwin's character wants to see Elven ruins and explore his.
Oh, other
yeah,
motivations exist completely, yes.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
like he's trying
Alright.
to play it off.
fine,
as other
Tristan. What do you think we
motivations.
should do next? And also, if anybody chip in, Donovan, what do you think we should do?
We need to help this town. We've stopped the spread of disease from the source.
You want to know
Leave.
what to do?
What?
Move on. These people are already dead.
We can't think like that. We have to give some effort.
That's a nice sword you have there.
Who you
May I
looking
ask you a
at?
question?
He's unconscious.
Oh, no, never mind.
Yeah.
Wasn't aware of that, sorry.
He can wake up anytime he wants to, but he's giving us opportunities to talk. It's there's.
I do
things in
kind
this
of like
town that are
the
still
image
bad.
of Nicholas like kind of opening his eyes and seeing you guys still debating all this and then just be like, oh, I'm still unconscious.
Yeah, I may have woke up already. Who knows?
We don't know. Yeah. We know that this town is way overpopulated. The food is scarce. Crime is rampant. People are still sick, but those who are sick, we don't know what's happening.
Well, I'm curious, Donovan. You're saying that these are definitely vampires, and that we should leave. We shouldn't do anything. We shouldn't try to destroy them.
You claim to have fought one of them. I find that unlikely. They move as fast as the wind. And when you think they're in front of you, they're not.
Tristan. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
When you wield your blade across them, they turn into mist, bats. They're impossible to
Then I don't know. It doesn't sound like this. And Tristan describes the creature we fought, which was a vampire spawn, but it was emancipated. What was it? Yeah, like starved and weak and things like that.
Yep.
As I describe it, it sounds like that. So there you go.
Yeah, you more than likely fought something closer to a ghoul, vampire spawn. Some poor bastard that was turned and didn't turn full.
It was. If that thing was just some poor bastard, and it was strong. Anjamin, he looks like him, but he's actually quite strong himself, and it had an iron grip on him.
I like
love
how
that.
the DM laughs at that one.
Well, hear me well. If you fought a true vampire, he would have ripped you in half.
Well, then maybe we're not ready to fight a true vampire.
Since you're an
However, I
expert,
can tell you this: there is no way we're leaving this town. There's no way my brother would abandon these people. And I'm not abandoning him.
You say as you're in the old mill outside of town. We will never leave this
Forward base of
town.
operations.
FOB, man, FOB. We don't camp in enemy territory.
Yeah. Okay.
Hey, well, with the whole Aubrey situation, I think the only thing there is a bright side to it. We've showed the church that we can be trusted. We can get the job done in a sense, and we know they aren't in control by the lords of Lakeshore. Maybe we can actually work with them this time instead of being shoved away like that before.
I tell you what, you come up with a plan that won't get us all killed, and I might join.
That's kind of what this is right here.
Yeah.
This is coming up with a plan. Very curious to hear what your input is, Mr. Donovan. If you think we're going to be ripped limb from limb if we go straight at these vampire lords, what is the play?
Every vampire sees what another vampire sees, at least from the top down. You kill one vampire, and they'll be all alerted to your presence. I wouldn't even be surprised if something's been sent here to kill you all.
It's been days and nothing's happened. I'm not sure if they.
What will come is definitely not walking in the daytime.
So what you're saying is we should take the head off the snake.
That's right.
But
You
if we
that
fight
vampire
the
spawn was tough, you're in for a surprise if you think you can handle a vampire.
Can you
Yeah,
handle
and
a
just
vampire lord?
and just out of character, I think everybody understands that we're not jumping to the vampire encounter at this stage.
yeah.
Oh,
No.
Oh.
That would not
I
be.
didn't get that.
I mean, obviously, I'm not saying you can't just go rushing in, but I think we all understand that that would basically just be like hitting delete on the campaign, like,
Yeah.
so, out of character, I think we're all good on that front, and to just kind of, move things along if you guys are still looking to do something, the basic options, moving forward here are you can either go check out the ruins, you can go check out the grotto if you want to investigate, as Einjamin has pointed out, that there is something more to what's going on here. Like, the journal clearly spells out that this was not just, the miller got eaten by rats because he got infested with rats. No, the rats came here after the miller was killed. And so there's more going on with that. And
that was literally going to be the next thing I was going to say.
oh,
Okay.
sorry, I'm just trying to
That's
move
all
it
right.
along because it's getting,
No, that's
closer
all right.
to the end, and I want you guys to be able to do
Well,
something
I was
still.
Well, I mean, Donovan was very patient with all of us while we dullied around. I was just trying to give him a chance to sort of get into it.
Yeah,
right?
but I think,
Um,
doing something might be what he wants to do.
Oh yeah, I do. It's just a bit difficult because, as you can imagine, like,
Yeah,
being
you're
the
just
nature of
stepping in.
vampires. Yeah, and the nature of vampires. I don't know these people.
Yeah. Well, we get it. We get it.
It's fine.
It's
right.
just even with the mill. Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
All right. Well, I think it might have been lost a little bit yesterday or however many days ago it was. But I think there is more to what happened here than just rats.
You
Show
mean
me.
that journal?
You want to see it
Yeah.
again? I'll pop it up again.
No, I already saw it. Sorry.
Just
Okay.
yeah, we show it to you and stuff.
This part down here that's written in Old English. English?
Aglian, I think is what he said.
Eglian.
Eglian.
Eglianish.
Eglianish.
Aglianish. Yes.
Eglin.
Eglian. It
Eglianish.
mentions something buried in the Lover's Grotto.
You lot are out of your mind. Look at this. My wife thinks that someone has been sneaking around the mill at night. Yet you claim this place to be safe.
Well, we only found this just a couple days ago. And they have been dead a very, very long time.
You lot are lucky that you aren't dried husks.
Oh, so paranoid, aren't you?
So you're saying these are vampires that were stalking them? Or at the very
Take me
least possible.
Take me to the body.
They're literally skeletons, buddy. And it's buried out in the back.
I assume Nicholas or Einjamin would have instructed the squires to give them a proper Caledonian burial.
Indeed, which would have meant they were burned.
Yes.
Are they? Really?
Yes. In the
There's a lot of
tradition
burning. A lot of burning going on.
Yeah, there is. It's sort of I'm getting the impression that Caledonian is pretty much Rome.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
I mean, that's what's up. Yeah.
Yeah,
There's only so much that you can pull inspiration from. So, yeah.
and yeah, we explained to Donovan what happened. When we found them, they were just skeletons because the ants ate them, and that we burned their bones, and that's it.
Where are the rats?
Destroyed.
Also burned.
Well, great. Whoever killed that man, I doubt we'll find whoever did it. Or whatever did it.
Well, again, there is a clue, perhaps, at this grotto.
What is the point of this? It's a millwright getting murdered. Is this part of our mission? I don't understand this, Benjamin. But if you think we need to do this, then fine.
Do you think
How
that
long
this
could it
creature
take?
that killed this man will be at the...
Well, all we know is that what's in this journal. And how long could it take? Let's just check it out. Now that I understand what it is we're going up against, I have to admit I'm a little less sure of ourselves in this particular place as I was.
Right.
Perhaps.
So maybe gathering more information.
Thank you, disembodied voice.
Yes.
Um,
No
indeed.
problem.
Oh man.
Is that enough of a reason for you to go, Tristan?
Like I say, if you think it's worthwhile, then let's do it.
Well, first let's wake my brother up.
Slap, 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 slap.
What? Protect the innocents. Justice for the dead. Things at the bottom of wells.
Yes. Nicholas, just wake up. Have a drink, and I know it's been exhausting in the last few days, but we got a job to do. No time to sleep.
I'm awake.
Are we going to the Grove? Got a character.
Yeah.
I assume so.
Yeah.
Let's go to the
It's
grove.
good for me. It's a grotto.
Yeah.
Grotto.
It's
Let's see that.
grotto.
It's a grotto.
3 days later.
No, actually, all of the caverns and everything that interconnect here, are very close by. Right along the shores of the lake is where most of them are. This grotto happens to be a pretty well-known location. Nestled deep within the cave is a natural hot spring, and people would come here a long time ago. But it's been pretty overrun recently, and so people don't come here anymore.
Sorry, overrun or overgrown?
Like, yeah, overgrown. Like, like it's not safe anymore.
Just waiting for the map to load.
Yeah, sorry, I just needed to remember where the entrance was.
Sorry I'm late.
Oh, no problem, Hazard. Thank you for joining us and welcome.
Yeah, stuff happened. New character introduction's been done, and now we're investigating clues.
Okay, so I am going to give you guys a moment to get into marching order, and then I am going to have everybody roll for initiative because I have a new API to where everybody can move on their turn, and it's just going to make everything kind of flow a little bit easier so that way when stuff happens, instead of everybody like having a quick catch up or whatever, we'll be in the exact order that we need to
Right.
be in.
And we can assume Arcadius Blade is out and shining. Maybe somebody got a torch.
Yeah, let me fix that. Okay, so Nicholas has that. Oh, do I have global lighting on? Is that why it's not?
Yeah, everything's
Yeah.
lit on our end,
Everything's well lit.
like
There you go.
daylight. There we go.
Well,
There we go.
well, at least the enemy will know we're coming.
As
You
as
can
he
see-
pulls out his shining sword, Donovan's like, "Yeah, there you go."
Yeah. I would be up front. I think Nicholas, you're up front as well.
Indeed.
Okay, I'll be beside you. If I can't be beside you, I'll be behind you.
I will be. I guess I'll be in the second rank then. And I can actually make the torchlight dimmer if that is something that is needed. But I have a feeling that Nicholas won't like that.
If
So-
you have a torch, you can do that. Nicholas, also you can control the brightness of the sword.
I guess I'll turn the brightness down just a little bit since Tristan has such very good eyes.
And Soggy has sensitive eyes.
Mhm.
Augie!
I'm at the very last. I rolled
we-
a 7.
So we're all doing initiative, right?
Yep, everybody go ahead and roll for initiative. And so Donovan, what you do is you click on your token.
Ouch.
Click right on your token, and then you'll see a list of macros that pops up at the top of your screen. Initiative has the hourglass in front of it,
And it should say initiative.
and it says initiative then as well. Yeah.
Ooh, is Donovan in
I'm
front?
trying. Sorry. Yeah, I just keep getting to like this edit token.
Just click on yourself and
Oh,
don't.
don't double click. Just one click on your token so that your token is selected. And then there will be a list of macros at the top of your screen. Death save, perception, and then,
Oh, okay.
and then initiative. Just click on initiative. There you go. I pretty much go first every round. Okay, and then now,
So we're moving in initiative like this, or how are we doing this?
1 second. I am going to move up ahead. Just about over here by this rock. And 1 moment.
Ooh.
okay, so Donovan stealthily scouts ahead at the edge of the light. And then you'll see in that list of macros I was telling you about earlier, right next to settings, there's another one called end turn. And if you click that on in bar, it'll be at the bottom of your screen all the time so that you can just click end turn and that'll let the next person go.
So we're actually doing initiative, just for moving around.
Yes.
I'm so sorry about this. Where I'm not seeing this.
I'm gonna
end
end your turn for you, and then so if you look at the macros next to settings at the top of the chat, there's the 3 eyes right next to the gear, and if you click on that, you'll see a list of macros, and if you click on
I see.
the tickable bar for end turn, click on in bar, and then down below the list of macros is show macro quick bar. You have to have that checked as well. And then you'll have your list of macros to be able to do the things that you need to do. End turn is an important one.
Gotcha.
All right. All right. So out of game. This is odd. I'm not really sure how we're going to
Yeah,
progress from here. I mean, this is Roll20 is. I'm still getting used to it myself in terms of how it's used to play the game. Do you? If I were to go in character here, what I would do would be to wait for the scout to report back what they see, and then we
Right.
decide what we do.
Right. And, if we were to do that and, slowly progress through like that would take forever. And,
Well, I'm going to stick my hand out from behind the corner and signal with 2 fingers as if it is okay to.
The only thing
Alright.
I'm trying to do is make sure that you guys are aware of like combat marching orders and things like that, because combat has been hectic because everybody is just moving along at whatever pace, and then you see something and then all of a sudden everybody like quick clusters around. So now you will, move as a unit and decide how you want to progress. So if you need to change the initiative order in order for someone to go first each time and lead the way, so to speak, then that's what's going to happen as you guys move forward. It's going to both be A, more realistic, and B, make the combat flow better when you find it so that
Yeah,
everybody's already
I
in there.
completely understand that, but this is just much more time consuming, though.
Not if
No.
everybody just starts moving.
We'll see. I suppose.
We'll
give it a shot.
give it a shot for this session.
Yeah,
you know?
okay,
It's
let's
weird
do
to me too. Let's
just
give
do
it a
this
shot.
then.
All right.
Well, to be fair, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and stick up for the DM here. This isn't not exactly the same as pencil and paper. And when everyone's in front of each other, you can simply just go, what do you do? What do you do? What do you do? What do you do? And since every one of us has basically kind of playing a video game here in a D&D format, and we just moving our icons all over the place, he's not going to be able to maintain any sense of order. Someone's going to be running way up ahead or who knows what. And the next thing you know, it's just going to be like, okay, one person's in combat over here, everybody's way over there, initiatives being rolled over there, and it's just going to be hella confusing.
No, it's definitely.
Yeah, we completely.
So yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, we completely understand that. We'll try it out.
All right. I will hold my action so that I am not going next. I will go. I will always try and let Tristan and Nicholas go in front of me since I have the weapon with reach.
And I will hold my action until Nicholas moves, and I'll move with him.
And Trista will do the same. Now, Soggy, you have dark vision, so you're in a unique position of like being capable of scouting ahead. And you have
That is true.
you have 30 feet of movement, and you can move twice, so you can move 60 feet per turn.
We're still doing with each of these squares being 2.5 feet.
2.5 feet, correct.
All right.
And as always, you can use Q or the measuring stick, whatever.
Well, I already see Donovan. I already see Donovan so far. Just I can only move to here because that's 6 squares.
No. That you could move to where you are now as one movement, and then yeah, exactly. You can get a whole nother movement.
So let me roll a.
You can move another 30 feet. Another 6 squares. Or not 6, 12. Yeah, see that? See how he's measuring there?
I understand. I understand.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure that you saw.
And
And you're moving stealthily. Got it. The kobold is trying to creep along the edge of the wall, keeping to the shadows.
yep. Soggy's like, Soggy's
Okay,
going to
but we
continue
have to progress quickly when we're moving through this way because we're not in combat yet. So we're just trying to move through here as quickly as possible. Well, that's as far as you can move.
Yeah, that's what I was.
Okay.
I'm just gonna wait for everyone else in front of me to start moving.
Got it. Let me
Hold my
move.
action down.
Hold on. Let me. Yep, I'm gonna. Oh.
Okay.
I was gonna move you. All right. So.
Well, I still gotta wait on Nicholas to move.
Yeah.
All right. So now that Nicholas has moved, then can Tristan and Einjamin move?
Yep. So Tristan goes. Well, it should have been Einjamin first, but whatever. Tristan goes first, then Einjamin, then Trista, then Elwin.
It keeps throwing me back.
Yep.
Oh, I see. Because it's not my turn.
Because it's not your turn.
Now it's all right. So the held action didn't do anything then.
Yeah. No. Now it's your turn. It
I
hasn't.
see.
It hasn't progressed through the round yet.
Yeah, is this like a modified initiative, so we can delay our turn then?
Right.
Which, unlike combat, we can't do.
Right.
Okay, so we can change, in essence, our turn order.
You decide where you go. Correct.
And just to be clear, we cannot do this in actual combat.
Correct. Once combat begins, we re-roll initiative, and that's the order you act in.
Okay. Done.
Okay, that's my max movement right there. Just want to make sure I wasn't running into one.
Also, I don't know if it's different from kobolds, but if you're moving stealthily, you only get to move half your speed.
Correct. Although you can move your full speed at disadvantage.
Right, you can move stealthily at disadvantage with your full speed.
But that's still 30 feet if you move twice.
And a stealth action is a bonus act? No.
It's
Yeah,
just
it's a
part.
bonus.
It's just part of the movement, right? If you're moving stealthily.
Like, it's usually an action to do that, so you can't dash at all if you want to.
Oh, so you get
Because
half
that's why
you get
rogues-
half your movement, and you only can move once?
Rogues have uncanny actions just because they need stealth and things like that.
Oh,
That's why they can use it as a bonus, and no one.
I thought you got half your movement,
No.
but you
with
could
the
still
just
move twice.
with no. Stealth itself is an action.
Wow.
That's why rogues are great for that.
Yeah. But it's kind of craptacular for everybody else.
That's why be a rogue, I guess.
You
Yeah,
have to
but
give
to
the
have
rogue something.
no stealth option as a ranger or anything.
No,
You
yeah.
can have stealth options. It's just that you'll be using an action, and if you have any bonus, like if you're a spellcaster, you can cast bonus action spells and things like that. Fighters, they can have action surge to do that instead. Paladins have spells, that kind of stuff. It balances out in the end because rogues don't.
Are you moving ahead, Soggy?
Of course I am. So he's like, all right.
We don't have to take a full turn every time. We're just trying to move through right now. We're just moving. Just move. I'm not trying to
I
be
know,
rude. I'm not
I
trying
know.
to be rude to you. I'm just letting you know that the time for role playing was earlier, and I'm sorry you missed it. But we'll get some more role playing in once we get to a combat or something. Okay.
Yeah, I'm in London, so
I understand. Nobody's upset. I'm sorry. I don't mean to sound curt. It's just I'm trying to move things along and see if this is going to work to be able to like get you guys to combat in a reasonable amount of time while still maintaining order.
Oh yeah, totally, Soggy. We're glad you joined up, man. We were missing
Yeah.
you, and we were trying to roleplay while you were gone. So
yeah.
we're all good, man. Just we'll get through these caves and try out this new thing, and hopefully we'll get to something interesting in a minute. Yeah.
And I guess this is as far as I can go, right?
No, that would be for one movement, I'm pretty sure. Let me measure and just. Yeah, so that's 30 feet. And now the stairs right here, you'd have to go, but still, 30 feet. And then there's another stair over here that you can go down and you can get all the way down over here. Yep, right there.
Understood.
So now you can see and you can kind of call back if you want to or whatever, you can tell everybody what's going on. But either way, you can end your turn so Nicholas can start moving. But you can do that while everybody's moving now because they're just moving. So you can let them know what you see or anything.
I understand. Soggy doesn't see anything yet.
So maybe there's like a little noise you make, like a clicking or something that lets them know everything's safe up ahead.
Yeah, I'm just going to move as far as I can up to Donovan. That's a kind of a squeezy way. I'm not just going to bulge past him wearing, slightly heavy armor. So I moved up. I'm all done. I think at this point we probably need to just pause here because we're moving forward in little cluster mucks, and we might just want to hit done and let Donovan and Soggy move forward. Is a suggestion.
Okay.
Agreed.
Quick question, DM.
Yes.
Can you modify our rolls? Like, for example, Nicholas rolled a 4. Can you modify that?
Nicholas
you
rolled a
manually
4.
set the value?
Oh yeah, I can.
You can do it yourself.
Yeah.
As in Nicholas can change his number, I can change my number. You can change your number.
Okay, so maybe we just pick out the marching order and then change all our numbers to those numbers?
Sure.
Yeah.
Uh,
That's what basically happened. Was I just set you guys wherever you wanted. And if nobody
Okay,
wants
so
to take their
can we-
turn, they're free to just
Donovan's
skip it right away.
22. Can Soggy be 20? Soggy, can you change your value to 20?
So what basically DM's saying, he can change the order himself in a sense that he moved us under even if we're not in order. So it's
Right.
fine that way.
I
just meant
had
so that the
I had
turn
reset.
order would be listed in order, right? Because right now we're having to hit done a bunch. Whereas if it was Donovan, then Soggy, then Nicholas, then Tristan, then it's the marching order and it's in order and the turn order and it's all lined up clean.
That is what's going on.
Oh, okay,
Soggy,
cool.
It is
Soggy-
Donovan, then Soggy, then Nicholas, then Tristan.
What were you saying, Sluggy?
Soggy leaves behind these wooden hooks to indicate if it's
You're
sick.
the only one that can see it.
Yes, but I kind of like make a tapping sound with the boomerang to indicate that everything is fine.
Yeah, he's letting you know that there's a sign, a signal that he's making to let you guys know that everything's safe. So if he stops doing that, that means everything's not safe.
Okie doke.
Okay. Yeah, let's just say we discussed that as characters.
Correct. All right, so Soggy moves up ahead.
Soggy sees a giant crab and kind of like now makes a eep, 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 eep sound.
Yep. So now everybody gets this round to move up, and then we roll for initiative.
The alert from Soggy is going to be like the rope all over again.
Yeah. it's 2 pulls for just give them more rope, right?
Yeah.
I was sure it was 3. And the 4 was, it's okay, let go.
I will summon a javelin and prepare my shield.
Excellent.
I'll be right back. I'm just grabbing some food.
No problem. Now you guys know you could move twice, right?
I'm not moving past the spear line.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's good training.
Plus, it's pitch black.
That's just solid Caledonian training right there.
Plus, Ellen knows he's the archer and should be at the back most generally.
And no vampire hunter's gonna go charging into the blackness of a cave.
That's a valid point too.
Trista.
Elwyn.
Right. What did I find out? Just gonna move like to right here. There we go.
All right, so that's top of the initiative now. Should we roll
Yes.
again?
Yes. So now everybody roll initiative.
Better than that 5 from last time. My part.
It's sabotage. These are not my rolls. Someone killed my dice. Sabotage.
The DM set you to roll low for initiative.
Oh, I'm back.
Oh, it took you long enough.
Yeah. Are we rolling new ones?
Yeah,
Yeah, we're rolling
rolling
new.
new initiatives.
Okay.
For actual combat.
God damn it. I want to keep my 20.
I rolled a 21.
Well, since you're the only one who could see it, probably good.
Oh. Well, what do you know? And Trista pulls out a glowing green blade and stands beside Soggy.
Does the glowing green blade emit light?
Yes, it does.
Does it?
A little bit.
But not the purposes of actual like lights, like a torch.
Yeah.
No, it did.
It's very faintly, like down lower. Like I think it's because it's blocked off by a corner on our part. That's why we can't see it so well just yet.
Does the spell actually do that?
No, she has a magic sword.
Oh, I thought you said green flame blade.
Oh, yeah. No,
yeah,
no.
I was thinking that's what you were going for too. I was like, okay, I'll just
No,
roll.
no, no. No,
Because I wanted to, yeah.
she's got a special sword.
Okay.
Fancy.
Be jealous.
Soggy.
Okay, what best to attack with? Cloak daggers, tentacle, summon a tentacle, or a basic Eldritch Blast?
I'm assuming this is rhetorical, right?
It's got to be.
Eldritch Blast?
Isn't there a bit of danger associated with summoning tentacles of blackness with a paladin in an area where
Nah,
like
Ellie's gone through
Soggy's
this
good.
already.
Soggy's good.
okay,
He's done that already.
Yeah.
He's
yeah,
the
that's what
paladin.
I just got.
The paladin has convinced himself that the warlock is actually using divine magic.
He passed the divine sense test.
Yes, you must understand, Donovan. The kobold is becoming like a brother. Like a brother, but more honest and more nice than a real brother would be.
Soggy just can like, okay, you slimy friend, attack!
All right.
Attack!
So as the tentacle rises from out of the ground like a watery spectral, it swings at the crab. And hold on, I'm just grabbing the giant crab's armor class to see if 13 hits that. It's close. Oh, no, does not hit it. And then don't forget that right up here is your spectral tentacle. You can just grab that and put it right next to the crab. There you go.
I bet it's very confused to see a tentacle just suddenly appearing.
Oh, of course.
I'm gonna whip out my crossbow. But I could only vaguely see the creature.
Yeah. So that's what you can see then. So that's as best of a shot as you can get at it. So you shoot at the crab and hit it with your crossbow bolt. You manage to get right between the meaty part, the shell part, by the meaty part where the eye stalks and mouth are. It deals 5 damage.
I have a feeling he's gonna be like me when it comes to my shots.
How high is this little embankment here?
About 4 feet at most.
All right, I will climb on top of it if I can.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right,
You don't even have
just
to
take
roll.
a little extra.
Yeah.
Just take a little extra movement.
Not even. It's just enough to where you just have to kind of lift yourself up a little. It's nothing special.
Yeah, I kind of feel bad. Like this crab was just chilling.
Yeah. Yeah, the crab was just chilling there.
Yeah, it's kind of what we do. We go into places and kill lots of giant animals.
that does seem to be a common occurrence around
So-
Lakeshore.
I'm
Giant
not
animals.
seeing.
Hey,
Yes.
actually,
And usually they have a habit of trying to kill us, even though sometimes Soggy tries to make diplomacy.
hey, by any chance, does anybody have a bag of holding?
No.
Oh no.
I can't see. I can't see.
Because you're facing a wall.
Oh, we've got facing back. All right.
No? What?
No,
Well-
you're looking down that way. Okay. I thought you were looking at the wall that you're against, and like, why can't I see anything?
Well, I mean, I can't. I thought I would be able to see it from here, but I can't. So, I'm done.
Yeah, I think you have to go a little
Um,
bit further down this
I just
way.
have a quick question for you, DM. What methods of food preservation are like?
I'm guessing it's like medieval style, salted, pickled
Yeah,
things,
yeah.
dried jerky kind of things, stuff like that.
Yeah, crabs probably wouldn't last very long.
Correct.
Move up to right there.
However, we didn't go very far away from the mill, so maybe this is hunting.
We don't have any ice, so it'll be interesting.
Okay.
I'm gonna use my action dash to right there. And that's gonna end my turn right there. Jeez, they're way up there.
All right, so the giant crabs, wondering what all the noise is about, come scuttling out of the pool, and they see you guys, and they start clicking their claws aggressively at you. And this one that got shot kind of scuttles back into the corner here.
I would too if I were shot unexpectedly.
And also almost attacked by a tentacle.
Yeah, some weird tentacle comes rising out of the ground.
It's a weird day for that crab.
Oh wait, I think you get an attack of opportunity from the tentacle because the crab didn't withdraw, disengage. So if you want to roll your tentacle attack,
Can the tentacle act by itself?
I think that it can because he can get a bonus action to make an attack each turn. So like, couldn't he take the attack of
will-
opportunity with it then?
If you need to do a specific action to make it do something, I don't know how it can have a reaction then.
Not its reaction, his reaction to, because he can do.
That would mean Saki can use his reaction to make an attack.
Um,
I'm not saying it's necessarily wrong.
No,
I'm just
it's
saying
an
that,
AOE. It's a standing
essentially,
AOE.
I rolled a 23 and it dealt 5 lightning damage.
yeah, like I said, I mean, if it was a huge deal, I think that, I'd debate it a little bit more, but like, it's just the spectral tentacle and it's giving him some more use out of it to be able to use his reaction to make an opportunity attack with it. He's only getting the one and it's just, 1d8 or something like that. Yeah, 1d8. Like it's not gonna be the end of the world to get a little extra, out of it.
All right. Looks like the
I'm-
DM hath spoken.
Yep, I'm fine with that as long as DM says so.
I just, I want him to feel
All right.
like he's getting use out of it is what it comes down to.
Totally. So Nicholas moved up 30. Can't really see anything. Question: there's a depression of sorts right in front of Elwyn and Tristan.
Yeah.
Is that again just a gentle sloping embankment kind of thing?
No, that one's a little steeper, about 6 feet. You can see how it's like got a little more steep shadow
Sure.
than
Okay.
that one.
Then doobie doobie doo can go
Same with this one over here, by the way.
Whee! I'm going down in the pit. At least I can see things now. And I'm all done. Just did a double move. That's all I could really do. So I'm done.
And then this crab kind of comes up by this other one and does the same thing. They're just kind of clicking their claws and aggressively standing off against you.
I'm just reminded of that meme of those multiple dancing crabs.
Trista steps forward and says, "These creatures are just trying to defend their territory. I don't think they want any piece of us." And she displays her sword in a arcing swing and, kind of drives the crabs back a little bit with it and tries to intimidate them. In which I am saying she will be providing help to anybody that does want to roll intimidate if they do that on their turn or whatever.
Soggy kind of like, me can talk to crabs. Maybe me can convince them.
Be scary.
He's going to kind of like make a persuasion to let his friends pass with the crab.
So I'm just going to let you know right now that animal doesn't necessarily always mean all animals, especially when it comes to like crustaceans and arthropods and other more alien type of creatures like that. Mostly it's lizards and mammals, birds, things that have maybe a little bit higher intelligences. Crabs just simply aren't quite intelligent enough for you to communicate with.
Understood. So, intimidation then. And this is going to be at advantage, right?
Yep. Trista is assisting by having made a display with her sword. And so Soggy comes up and crackles some energy in his hand with his eldritch power and makes a little, roaring, get out of here, kobold dragon, intimidation check. And the crabs kind of like back down and go back to their thing, and they can't move because it's not their turn. But they are backing off, but still like threatening with their claws, like they don't want to come close to you, but they don't want you coming any closer either.
Yeah, I have to ask you a quick question. How far away was that town? Was it like days away?
The one
No,
where we
no.
burned.
No, just you guys are like not even an hour outside of town. You're just off in the countryside a little bit.
I'm gonna yell out, can that glow stick of yours get a little brighter? And I will whip it.
Trista says there's no need to attack these animals any further.
I like how it says hand axe on the thing.
Do you still? Well, he clicked on hand axe. Do you?
He clicked on.
Oh,
No,
what?
he clicked on
Oh,
whip.
what? Oh,
Yeah.
man.
Crack that whip.
Oh, I am so disappointed. That is supposed to have worked. I'm sorry. Well, at least it still makes the right attack. So when it comes down to attacking, do you still attack even if Trista says that there's no need to attack them?
Don't be ridiculous. There are hungry people at the village that could use this meat.
Just a reference. The village is about what 30,000 people.
Yeah.
It's a town, actually.
It's bigger than that even.
It's actually no. Last time I
Large
heard, 30,000 was supposedly the limit of the city, and now it's overpopulated with poor, so it's like 60,000.
No.
Yeah.
Hold on. The town was roughly 10 to 12,000 people at one point, and recently it has swelled to almost 30,000 people with all the refugees coming in because there has been war across the lands, especially over in Carpathia. And yeah, like we'll get more into the exposition of that at a different point, because I want to find out if you guys want to end the session on time here and now, or if you want to quick get to the next encounter and then end it there.
You guys are welcome to keep going without me, but I have to get up and teach in the morning, so I have to say goodnight.
Then we're gonna end it here on time. So, basically, to sum up, you can attack the crabs. They're just gonna retreat back into the pool. They don't want any more part of you. But to get enough crab meat to feed these people would be like a ridiculous task.
All right, question then. Never mind. I'm not gonna. If you guys just want to let it go, I'm not gonna.
What?
I mean, I'm a ranger. I do have animal handling. I'm not trying to make any gesture of like taming them or anything like that.
Right.
But if there's two of them, I mean, I am pulling real life science here. Crabs of the same gender don't really get along. If those two are male and female, they're going to be having lots of babies. That's a lot of crab meat. Thousands and thousands of crabs.
Yeah, but I mean, then you gotta like be raising crabs and crab farming and.
Yeah, I'm no crustacean farmer.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I understand where you're coming from with this. I appreciate I appreciate the notion of where you're going with this and all of that. It's just, I don't think that the crabs are necessarily the solution to the town's hunger problem. I mean, if you really want to like try to do something, you're welcome to try to do something. But as of right now, like just trying to transport the giant crabs would be like almost impossible.
Yeah, I get it. I was just throwing the possibility out there. Like I said, like I was originally thinking about making this character lawful neutral, but then I made it like neutral good, and so I figured feed a couple of people. But I mean, if it's just a waste of time to attack, I mean, it's not like we're going to be able to feed the whole damn like city, as much as it's just like here's something. But I mean, if you guys think it's just a waste of time, it's no big deal.
Well, it's not so much as that as like the transportation and dealing with everything, plus like as of right now, if it's not a threat to you, then you guys can continue with your stated purpose of trying to find more information about the Miller's death. He said that the evidence was buried here at the Lover's Grotto, and so, that's what you guys are here to investigate. And, if fighting the giant crabs is not something that you have to do, then that can be bypassed,
Sure. Then in role play, I suppose maybe I'll inform someone in the town that there's valuable meat in this cave
Sure.
and do with that information.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's something that can be handled, once you guys are back in town, even in game and all of that. So, no worries about all of that. Just for the purposes of wrapping up for tonight's session, I just wanted to make sure that we were good with next session. We're moving on to the next part of the investigation of the caves as opposed to battling the crabs. So yeah, everybody, that is where we will end for the night. Thanks for playing. Good session, and we will pick up
Yeah.
next week with investigating the rest of the grotto.
Alrighty. Catch you guys next week.